Hi and welcome to Dressage and Lightness Online. I'm Leanne Williams and today we're doing a moving introduction. Here we've got Maggie. She's a 4-year-old thoroughbred. She's a racehorse, but she's done a little bit of pre-training. And the reason why she's come here is because she's too busy. Now, our job is going to be to get her to relax. So they have this problem with her that they're having trouble getting her to focus on her job, which is to race. And we all know that the best things, everybody who is the most successful at what they do, is they're relaxed about what they do. So we're going to spend the next 4 to 6 weeks we've got with her, getting her to lengthen her posture, breathe a little bit more, and just be a little bit more comfortable in her skin. So today's job, I'm just going to follow her. I've got a little bit of that's good jaw mobility. What I would like to see today is that we can get her to breathe, and ultimately we always connect with our cavesson work, but obviously we can't put a cavesson on her yet. She has a cavesson on, but I won't be using the clip at the front until I definitely get her to have a little bit more thought about what she's doing and why she's doing it. Good girl, you're okay. So I'm just going to start to do some work, getting her to chill out a little. Yeah, you're okay, you're okay. So there was 2 horses up here when we did the changeover, and that worried her a little bit. You know, horses are herd animals. Whoops, horses are herd animals. She's just come off a 4-month spell. So she's been out in the paddock, and the only thing that's been done since she's come back out is she's had her feet done. So my first job is to get her to lengthen her neck, and it's going to be part of the education to the cavesson as well, but I'm just going to use the lead rope to do that. I don't want to give her a fright with the cavesson. It's interesting, the racehorses that do come here, they come here because the owners and the syndicates believe that there's enough talent, well, that they want to spend, yeah, good girl, they want to spend the extra time developing their postures. So I wish that we would do it with all the racehorses, because I believe they'd have a much better bunch of horses. But we're lucky enough to just to have a few. So what I'm doing here is I've got a hold of the clip, and I've got a hold of the ring at the top of the cavesson, and my first job is to teach her to understand, it's okay, understand, good girl, there's the mobility of the jaw, that there can be a little bit of pressure on the nose, and she doesn't have to flip out about it. Now, if she does, I'm not hanging on to it. If she does back her head around like that, I let go straight away. It's not to cause pressure and pain on her nose. It's just for her to be exposed to a little bit of pressure, because in 2 or 3 days' time, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using this to get her to lengthen her body. They tell me that when she gallops, she's out of those barriers like grease lightning, and you know that she's not controlling her energy. And so, you know, well, anybody that's done any athletics or training of animals or horses, we need to control the energy, and so they're having trouble controlling that energy. Now, when you're sitting on their back, when those little jockeys are sitting, track riders are on their back, they've got very good girl. They've got very little options but to just pull on their mouths, and so very often all that can happen is the neck gets shorter or it gets more inverted. Now, don't you kick that wall. I'm looking at her posture at the moment, and I can see that she's very built up here through, there's a good deep breath, good girl. She's very built up here through the brachiocephalic muscle, so that tells me her choice is to get a little inverted. And so what we're going to do is change her muscular development a little bit and get her to think more about not going up and using this muscle here, because every time she does it, she goes up and she braces, and get her to use, get her to use the muscles over her top line. So we would like to bascule her. Now she's going to get cross at me, and I have to just deal with it. Today's always the worst day for both of us. So I have to get her to understand that we can involve ourselves in her training, and that's okay. She doesn't get to have, a strong opinion about good girl. I've just got my hand on her nose at this stage, and she's not to get rid of it. I'm going to be like a mosquito. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So I'm just buzzing around saying I'm not going away, and because I have to get into a position where I can influence her. Now I need to get her head lower than her wither, or her pole lower than her wither, so I get the relaxation endorphins. And she's got everything going on here at the moment. She's got mobility of the jaw, she's got chewing, she's got running around, her brain's very busy, she just can't sit. Good girl. So I need her just to get comfortable in the new environment. Now, the problem is, it happens with competitions horses as well, is that when they go to these new environments, of course they get adrenalised. So when the young horses go to different race days, of course you've got all this adrenaline right from the word go. So what we need her to do is just to be able to walk out of the truck and just walk quietly to the cross ties, and then walk quietly to the mounting yard, and then walk quietly to out onto the track into the barriers. So when you've got horses that are bouncing around like this, people start, having to hang on to them more, and then they do violent reactions like that, and then people get frustrated, and we have all these other, then they get hurt, not intentionally sometimes. So we just very patiently, and interesting, you just saw that kick out with her right hind there. She's getting into anger stage now. So what we work on with the horses is that we have 3 major stages that they go through. One is fear, the other is frustration and anger. Good girl. And then she's going to pull herself over. Before we get into acceptance. I get it. Before we get into acceptance. Now we will get into acceptance, without a doubt. It all depends on how she breaks all this work down. So, I much prefer she kicks out behind than strikes out in front of me, which we've had, horses we have done things like that they blame us for it. But, I need to keep hanging on to this clip. I need to keep asking her to lengthen her neck and not be so focused on the outside. There's a horse up there behind the hedge that she's looking at the moment. It does give me a moment to have an impact, but not enough. She could stay angry for a couple of days, and we've had that as well. Good girl. Well, while she's looking around, I do get her legs to be quiet, but I don't have her mind in the slightest. So, yep, there we go. There we go. And so we will just lengthen the neck. The owners, when they dropped her off yesterday, good girl, said that she was actually a really sweet horse. And I don't disbelieve them, they're good owners for us. But this is the problem that they have. We all just have to make sure that nobody gets hurt in the education process. For us, it's much better the earlier that we start. Don't you come on top of me. The earlier that we start this stuff, the less development of the responses, I don't think so, we have. So, good girl. So I've got to keep telling her that, that she's heading in the right direction. Good, she's looking at that horse up there again. Yeah, and she'll just get more accepting of me getting involved in her space. Yep. Yeah, well, if she lies down, she lies down. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. And I'm very quietly pulling, having little pressure on the lead rope and little pressure on the cavesson. Yep. Asking her to release herself to me. She's got to let her mind go. Her eye hasn't touched me once. So as far as she's concerned at the moment, I'm completely inconsequential. I am getting chewing, so she's giving me a little bit of an indicator. You don't come on me. That's the one rule that we have. Go on, get off me. Good girl. Is that they don't come on top of me. Yeah, I get it. She does not want me to touch that cavesson. Yeah. So we always be very aware. Cavessons can break horses' noses. That is not our idea. Yeah. Well, you can kick out if you like. You can paw. So we're into anger stage. We've got everything going. Now, what they can often do from this point is go pawing and kicking and then just throw themselves on the ground. So maybe she will, maybe she won't. We will wait and see. I get it. She is cross. Don't you do it. But, she hasn't got up on her hind legs. She hasn't tried to barrel over the top of me. These are all the things that I take note of to make quiet, relaxed horses. Well, you can stand there all you like. I just ignore that. She has to actually get herself through that. we can't discipline it. No. My own objective is for her to listen to the halter. You can see her throwing her head around. Yep. I have to make sure when if anybody has horses like this, and this is something that you feel like you want to do yourself, you make sure that you keep out of distance of that cavesson, that they don't whack you in the head with it. Whoops. She's got everything going. Yeah. Good girl. You're okay. Good. I can feel her energy starting to ebb. This is what I'm looking for now. She'll just let me in more and more and more. Good. I'm just going to make my point. I need that head low. That's my point. I don't care what she does with her legs at this stage. I want the head low. Yep. And I don't try and I let that slide through my hands. One thing that we always wear is gloves. We never work any of the horses without gloves on. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. So I want to teach her to control her behaviour. Yeah. She doesn't need to behave like this to be a nice person. She needs to behave much more quiet. Nice people have nice dispositions, don't they? I can feel the energy leaving. And so what will happen is this will be our time to finish. I'll give her, yeah, good girl. I'll give her a couple more minutes as I can feel that energy relaxing. Yeah, it'll rise again, but there will be greater periods of time between that she'll let me in. Good girl. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. So I'm just quietly saying she's got to get used to the ring of the cavesson, making a noise, me being up there because the clip's going to be up there tomorrow or the next day. We'll just see how she goes each day. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I think, we've got to get a bridle on something like this. This is all of the things that need to be done to make life easy. Yeah. You're a funny little redhead. Huh? Bet you're a firecracker. Don't come on me. Don't come on me. Good girl. Don't come on me. Good girl. You're good. Good. You're good. You're good. You're good. There we go. All right. So there's the first step. She's let me walk a couple of strides. I think tomorrow we'll be able to clip on maybe. Always end in maybe. We don't want to push her. I don't want to scare her. I don't actually want to make her more angry. I just want her to understand that this is the way it needs to be for the minute. Good. This is the way it needs to be for the minute. Yeah. There's a nice breath there. Good. 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 Don't you come on me. That's the one thing that we don't have. That's the one thing that we don't do. I don't have that. Good. Good. There we go. There we go. Oh, it's like an aerobic session. So now I'm just quietly touch. You can probably see a little bit from the side. I've got a little bit of pressure on the halter. There we go. That's my reaction. Good. It might only be for seconds, but we're starting to make, yeah. Get her to understand that we're not going away. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Good. Good girl. I'm going to swap hands. My arm's aching. Good. Yeah, good. Good. It's less violent. Whoops, I say less violence. Famous last words. She's getting cross in her face now. Yeah. Don't. Come on me. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. I'll walk with her. I don't mind walking as long as... Oops, she's going to go again. Imagine trying to lead her to a mounting yard with a little jockey on her back. I think anybody's safe. Good girl. Good girl. Yep. So I'm just very quietly moving that around. I need her to let go of that neck and not be so violent with it. There we go. I know. It's a tough gig, isn't it? Tough gig being a baby. Yeah. They have hard lives, these little racehorses. Their lives start early. They finish early as well, but, they're just little baby minds. Good. Trying to deal with the world the best they can. That's excellent. I'm happy with that. But we're going to finish with that today. I'll get her to stand still just momentarily. I think that's a really good session for the pouring's good. She's letting me have a play here. You can see now. We'll be able to make more inroads tomorrow. So we'll see you then.